Hi, we have a question from Galina, who says, how can I improve my volcada? How can I improve my volcada? She's been dancing for 15 years. She noticed that volcadas became all the rage less than 10 years ago, with a few other dynamic movements as well. And she found so many ways of doing volcadas, all of them variable and all of them different aesthetics. And now she says she has a hurting back, lower back. Clearly, there are many ways to talk about the quality of a volcada. And so to answer her, I think I will start with the following thing. First of all, a volcada is a dynamic movement which should not put your back at risk. Okay, walking does not put your back at risk. You are putting yourself and your back at risk if you walk with your chest flared out and your hips out and you walk. You are putting yourself at risk. Your walk is not putting your back at risk. And so the volcada does not put your back at risk. But when we see some of these professionals do a volcada, I mean, they can arch their backs. They're in a permanent arched back position, these women. And of course, art being what it is today, and dance being the way, dance being taught the way that it's taught today, it's quite clear that people imitate by seeing. And when they see that arched back, they say to themselves, I must do it. It is a fallacy to think that. Okay? A lordosis is a very pretty thing. It's a sexual thing. But at the same time, it's not necessary. And it also takes a hell of a lot of different work. Back to the volcada. The volcada itself is a dynamic position of both parties. Both the man and the woman meet. Because of obviously differing height and weights, differing heights and differing weights, this triangle is more or less, equilateral. With tremendous size differences can come different angles. But the weights are essentially meeting at one point, and this is one of the key points of the volcada. That point should be as small as possible, the size of a quarter, if possible. And we'll get to that with another video. But the point is, you're trying to aim for a point of contact, ladies. You're aiming for a point of contact that does not include distribution of weight across your whole chest on the man. If you have a poor posture, which not just a lordosis, if you have an inverted chest, this thing here is uncomfortable as hell. The volcada is an uncomfortable dance to you because of your back, not because of the volcada. I'm maintaining that posture to show you. There, let's take some clothes off. If I have, this approach, and I'm leaning here against the wall, I mean, if my head is what's essentially hitting you first, there's something wrong. So there must be thoracic extension, and that point of contact must be done in such a way that you are straight. You are straight, yet falling. And the other person is straight, yet falling, and you must become comfortable with your neck to be able to turn, even with the wall in front of you. Of course, you have to compensate for your nose. So that's your problem, not mine. All right, so we see one thing about the volcada. It is a straight posture on an incline. The axis is still respected, this axis being a function of 3 plates. 3 plates. I'm using French terminology. 3 assiettes. 3 assiettes. Voilà. If I stack 3 plates like this and expect this to hold up, it doesn't. if I place them one within the other, it holds up. We have 3 such plates. 1, 2, 3. If you try to hold up like this for an extended period of time, you'll see there's a problem. If you are frontally, challenged, if your plates are stacked to the front, especially the bottom one, and the last 2 are behind, again, it's a challenge. So you have a static posture to assume, and a static posture is an alignment of these plates. Once those plates are aligned, everything else falls into place. And then we greet the wall. And when we greet this wall, now we have to learn to hold this position. So what exercises can we do to improve the volcada? Well, very simply, there are 2, and the rest are kind of derivative. There are 2 different ones. The first one works on the thoracic extension and the woman's cradle. She has a cradle here. She is cradling the man. The cradle, if we look very, very carefully, is a derivative of the ballerina posture. This is the cradle. We assume a push-up position on a door jamb, an open door. It's better if it's open. And when we use this door jamb, we back away from the wall 2 feet from the wall. We measure this distance using our own feet, not necessarily a measuring tape. We back off 2 feet. We position our foot behind that second foot, that is to say that second distance, and we assume we touch the wall. We assume sort of a push-up position, and we do a push-up. We do a push-up in a circular pattern. We do a push-up in a circular pattern, and we are wary of any kind of hip movement that is not following exactly from the back. We are making sure that the plates are all aligned, and we change directions. We warm up with this. We do maybe 5 in each direction. And then we start to brush our teeth. Meaning, one hand is free, and the other hand is assuming the weight, and we do a push-up. And if 2 feet is too far, we move closer. And if this is still too far, we move closer. But we get into the wall and we push back using only our arm. We make very sure that we have a toothpick here, a toothpick between this rib and that arm, and it will not break. It won't click. That breaks. That's a breaking toothpick. We put another toothpick between this angle and this. Let's put it here. This angle in here, and we make sure to respect it. Obviously, it's got to move a little bit. There we go. We are just bending in one spot. And here the toothpick stays. I am staying. And I learn to stay. I develop the deep muscles this way. What the French dancers call les muscles jaunes, the yellow muscles. Not the red muscles, but the static posture muscles. So, one exercise, warming up with this, then finishing off with both hands, obviously, one at a time, pushing off. And if we want to complicate this, we simply go to one foot. And now you'll see that things get very complicated. 5 times each morning on each arm. For 1 week on 2 feet. And then after that for 1 week on both feet. So you're going to be doubling the exercise load. And that's plenty of exercise for this. Let's look at various incorrect postures while doing it. If you have an inverted approach, this will be fairly easy for you. I encourage you to do it at the wall. and smash your face. Your chest should be extended into the wall. Your chest should hit the wall first. Now, I'm not talking about your breasts here. I'm talking about something solid. Something solid above your breasts should be touching the wall. Second exercise has to do with what's going on the floor. We're going to line up the plates. I'm putting 2 hands on the wall. And we do very simple directional exercises in a 1, in a 0, in a 2, a 0, a 2, a 1, a 0, a 2, a 0x, a 0x, a 1, an x0, an x0, a 1, a 2, a 0x, a 0x, a 0x, a 1, a 3, a 2, sorry, a 2. These are the simple exercises. We just basically look for direction number 1, which is the direction exactly in front of us. Look for direction number 2 without moving. My hips are not moving. 0x means I'm going to be crossing. I'm going to go on the spot. A 0 is on the spot, basically. 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0x, 1, 0x, 1, 0x. Here I'm looking for a line on the ground with my eyes, maybe. I raise my eyes and I'm trying to stay on that line. I'm trying to tighten this distance and not crawl away. This is not what we're doing. We're doing on the spot and both sides. I'm doing all this for 2.5, 3 minutes, and I'm doing it to music. So I don't know. Dun 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 bum 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 ba-dum ba-da-dum yo-do-do-do ba-da yo-da-da-da yum-dum-dum yum bum bum yum bum 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 If you warm up with the wall presses, if you warm up with those, you do 5. And if you do 1 comparsita per day, something rich, something very tonal. If you do 1 volcada comparsita per day, and if you do this for 2 weeks in a row, all your subsequent milongas are going to be vastly improved. The volcada is a huge, huge musical moment